The real doctors fled. You are the plague doctor. It is Italy, 1630, and the plague is inside the walls. The men who trained at the great universities are already gone. Riding for their country houses the moment the first bodies appeared. So the city turned to you. Maybe you failed out of medical school. Maybe you are a barber, a young man with no patience, someone with nothing to lose and a family to feed. The town council offered a salary large enough to make you say yes. Today you put on the beak. Today you walk toward the sick. For the next 40 days, you belong to the plague. That is what the word quarantine means, 40 days, and it now describes your life as much as the sick you visit. You are the medico della peste, the plague doctor, and almost everything you think you know about this job is wrong. The famous beaked mask is not as old as the stories claim. Your medicine will not save anyone, and the power the city has just handed you is closer to a jailer's than a healer's. This is what the job actually was, from the day you sign the contract to the day it outlives you. Start with the ugly truth about how you got this job. The university-trained physicians, the ones with Latin and reputations, do not do this work. When plague arrives, they leave. So the city hires whoever remains, and that is often a second-rater, a surgeon who never finished, a foreigner, a young man desperate for a start. Real physicians treat the wealthy behind closed doors. The plague doctor is hired for the poor, the crowded quarters, and the pest houses where the dying are sent to rot. You are cheaper, and more importantly, you are expendable. But the pay is astonishing. Because nobody sane wants the job, towns offer salaries a normal doctor could only dream of. A contract survives from Pavia in 1479, hiring a physician named Giovanni de Ventura. 30 florins every month, a furnished house, his living expenses, and full citizenship once the plague passed. Some towns paid 4 times a normal physician's wage, and they paid in advance because they had learned that plague doctors have a habit of dying before the term is up. You read the terms. You understand what the money is really buying. It is buying a man the city can afford to lose. You sign anyway. Here is the first thing to unlearn. The beaked mask is not medieval. Picture the plague, and you picture that long-nosed leather bird, and you assume it walked through the Black Death of 1348. It did not. The costume you are about to wear was designed around 1619, credited to a French royal physician named Charles de Lorme, nearly 300 years after the First Great Plague. During the Black Death itself, doctors wore ordinary robes. The outfit exists because of one wrong idea that governs everything you do: miasma, the belief that plague spreads through corrupted, stinking air. So every part of the costume fights smell. The long beak is packed with dried roses, mint, cloves, and straw, so that every breath you take is filtered through a garden. The waxed leather coat lets the bad air slide off. You soak sponges in vinegar. You keep a torch burning near your face, because smoke, they believe, cleans the air. None of it stops the disease. But it all makes sense if you truly believe the enemy is a smell. An ordinary morning begins with the doors. You walk streets where houses are marked with chalk, a cross, or a scrawled warning that plague lives inside and no one within may leave. You are expected to go in. Inside, in a room lit by a single candle, you find the sick. Fever, black swellings in the groin and the armpit, the buboes that give the plague its name. Your job is to examine them, but you will not touch them if you can help it. That is what the wand is for. A slim wooden rod you carry to lift a blanket, to point, to turn a limb, to hold a body at arm's length. Sometimes you lance the buboes, cutting them open to drain them. one of the few treatments that occasionally brought real relief. You bleed patients. You lay on poultices of herbs and dried toads. And you know, in your honest moments, that almost none of it works. What you truly offer is presence, a record, and the nerve to walk into rooms everyone else has sealed shut and fled. By afternoon, your beak is heavy and your hands smell of vinegar. You are not only a doctor, you are the city's eyes and its hand. Every corpse you see must be counted, because the health board keeps a running tally of the dead, the bills of mortality that tell the magistrates whether the plague is rising or breaking. Your numbers shape their decisions. And with that comes a power no healer should have. When you find plague in a house, you can order it sealed, the whole family shut inside with the sick, a guard posted at the door, no one allowed out for the full 40 days. You are condemning the healthy to share a room with the dying, and you know it. And you do it anyway, because the alternative is letting it burn through the whole quarter. The word for this is quarantine, from the Italian quaranta, 40. You enforce the terror as much as you treat it. Families will beg you. Some will offer money to look away and mark the door clean. A few will curse you as the man who buried them alive. You write the number in your ledger and move to the next door. This is the part the costume never shows. The strangest cruelty of the job is what it does to your own life. You spend your days with the infected, so the city treats you as infected too. You are quarantined from ordinary society for as long as your contract runs. You may be forbidden to enter taverns, to touch food in the market, even to sit with your own family. When you walk down a clear street, people cross to the other side. Children run. The beak that terrifies the sick terrifies everyone else as well. You eat alone. You sleep in a house the city gave you precisely so you will stay away from theirs, and you carry the smell of vinegar and death wherever you go. Your status is a strange, hollow thing. You matter enormously. The council needs you. The whole quarter depends on you, and yet no one wants to stand within 10 feet of you. You have traded human company for a salary and a title. In a plague year, you may be the loneliest man inside the walls, surrounded by thousands, touched by none. The mask keeps out the bad air. It also keeps out the world. So how does this end for you? Usually badly. The costume gives you far less protection than you hope. Plague spreads through fleas and, in its lung form, through the very air between people, and no beak of dried flowers can stop that. You are in daily contact with the dying, in sealed rooms, for weeks on end. The odds are simply against you. This is why the towns paid in advance and offered citizenship as a prize you had to survive to collect. The grim proof is in the paperwork itself. Across plague after plague, historians find the same pattern. The contracts outlived the doctors. A city would hire a plague doctor for a full term, and partway through, the ledger records a replacement because the first man was dead. If you live, you may earn your money, your citizenship, and a reputation. And when the plague of 1630 finally burns itself out, the city that owned you will drift back to normal, and it will forget your name faster than you can imagine. Either way, you took the job no one sane would take, and the mask you are remembered by was never really yours. It was the city's, and you were only the man inside it. So the next time you see that beaked mask in a painting, remember what it really was. Not a medieval relic, but a 17th century uniform worn by a man the city could afford to lose. If you are glad you never had to wear it, subscribe to Curious History, where we hand you a life you never had to live. Next time, your life as a medieval executioner, the best paid outcast in town.